I'm here interviewing today Tom Allsopp, Service Manager of Carmack Car Capitol. Question number one. What type of businesses ran at Carmack Car Capitol?
Well, it's a corporation. We have the dealership, the service center, and then, of course, we have the Apples in town now.
How difficult was it getting to the position of manager?
It's rough. I've been in it since '89. I started out busting tires and doing everything that you can to a car, and then now I'm doing the big side of it, the manager.
Has location helped or hurt your guys' business at all? I mean, I know there's competition not even a block away on the main dealership up on Vermilion Street. So I don't know if that's affected them much. Has it affected them much at all?
I mean, anytime you get into business, it's where you're at or where you're located is going to be, the best thing. I mean, location is key on everything when it comes to either cars, selling groceries, or whatever.
Okay. How do you guys usually advertise your business?
Well, everybody knows Gary Knight. He's on TV. He's on the radio. He's on newspaper. He's everywhere. It's advertisement, through everything, even the internet.
So, what methods do you use to gain an advantage over your competitors?
Price shopping. You call and see what their prices are compared to yours. Again, advertisement, and just send out the paperwork.
Have you reached equilibrium in your business?
In our business, equilibrium is hard to say. It's up one day, down the other.
Okay. Has the economy affected your guys' business at all up at Carmack?
Definitely. Selling cars has gone down. Fixing cars has gone up, which is good for me.
So, tell me how, do you guys get a lot of, since you've mentioned how fixing and managing cars has gotten better, do you guys see a lot more improvement with the economy as it is now? Whether in 5 years it goes down even worse, do you guys see your guys getting more business in that wise? I mean, because a lot of people aren't going to want to spend the money to get a new car rather than just fix up their old one.
Well, car repairs are seasonal.
Yeah.
Spring and fall are your two biggest. Kids going back to school, kids getting ready to get out of school. Everybody wants to make sure their kids are safe in their cars. And then for this year and the end of last year was bad. Starting this year, we've seen more improvement money-wise compared to last year. Again, because everybody's fixing things instead of wanting to, you think a $1,200 repair is 2 car payments, to whereas 5 years of car payments at $600. So which would you do?
I'll probably take the repair.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you handle the hardships that come with being a manager of this kind of business?
You assess, plan, initiate, and then check how everything's gone after you've gone through your process.
So what are the pros and cons of working for a large business such as Carmack?
Well, Carmack isn't large. It's an independent company.
Okay.
A pro on any level is health insurance for one. Different things you can get into, 401k, things like that to get started. Now, I've been to dealerships, my whole life. When I was the manager at Sears, that was probably the easiest. You have better buying power, better things to get into with the 401ks, profit sharing, stuff like that. Now, of course, with smaller dealerships, you don't have that. So it's pros and cons, depends on what you're looking at as a pro and con, whether it be healthcare, money, things like that.
How do you determine the demand for a product, such as a transmission, oil change, etc.?
Well, everybody needs their oil changed. Demand on our product is, again, seasonal. Everybody wants to get their coolant flushed, in the springtime, get it ready for the same thing in the fall and winter, and you always, again, need an oil change or some kind of repair done.
Okay. How often do you alter your business based on demand?
Daily.
Daily?
Daily. I mean, you got to know what appointments are coming in. You got to be able to load the shop, keep the technicians busy. Considering if you've got, it doesn't matter if we got 3 technicians or 7 technicians, you have to have everybody lined up to make their money. Their flat rate. They don't get paid hourly. They get paid by what they do.
Okay. How does an increase in minimum wage affect you?
So far, really hasn't affected us. I mean, when it comes to a dealership setting, pretty much the only guys that are making minimum wage are the guys washing the cars or changing oil. You know, again, the guys work on flat rate. They get paid by the hours they turn. They're not paid by being there 8 hours. They could turn 6 hours and be there 10 hours a day. So it's how productive they are.
So if somebody came to you for advice on managing a business, what would you tell him or her?
Again, have a good business plan. You know, if you don't have the capital, have a good backer. Strong plan and just go from there. Have a good product.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview?
No.
I mean, great interview, or...
Yeah, just like 60 minutes.
I also have another question. How long has Carmack been around in Danville necessarily? Is it like a family-owned business, or did Gary and I personally just start it? Just to start it?
Gary started out selling cars. He's just a farm boy from Dana, Indiana. You know, he came into it as a salesperson. Don Carmack actually started it in '78. And basically, he worked his way up to where, you know, him and Don became a partnership. And then, of course, when Don passed away, he had the opportunity to, you know, take the dealership and grow from there. So, in other words, since then, he started Rantoul, he started Main Street, he started Gilbert Street, now Westville, and then, of course, you know, since October last year, he bought the Napas, the one here in town and the one in Westville. So.
With the current rate, such as him buying the Napas and expanding, does he see personally? Does he see more expansion coming in the near future, such as maybe expanding out to Georgetown or expanding out to Champaign or Urbana?
Champaign, Urbana, no. I mean, there's a lot of other independents over there that, you know, would be. There's more competition over there.
Yeah.
To try to stretch that far. Danville and Westville is about the easiest for right now. Now, like I said, he's in Rantoul. There's not a whole lot of competition there. If he wants to stretch out, I'm sure he can. But you got to think within the last 2 years, we've acquired 3 other dealership parts and, of course, the parts stores. And then, of course, we actually lost Chrysler 2 years ago when they went through bankruptcy. We were one of the dealerships that lost, you know, the Chrysler and Jeep franchise. So at that point, again, we had to adapt. And instead of being Chrysler service department, we became the Napa Auto Care Center. And now we're able to fix everything instead of just Chryslers and Jeeps and Dodge.
So, in your personal reference or your personal opinion, does experience in this business, as long as you've had it, does it really help you on a plateau wise? Like, do you see yourself going higher and higher and higher with the kind of experience you have, or do you just expect that with your certain experience level that you're set for this certain area for so long?
You're always learning. You know, it doesn't matter, again, if you're just the kid changing oil or you're the guy sitting on the top. Because the guy sitting on the top could be right down there on the bottom the next day. You know, you always have to keep yourself ahead of the game. Again, plan for the future. And just keep your options open.
Well, thank you for this time. I appreciate the interview.
No problem.
Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.